Welcome to the first of a series of webinars that we're going to be holding this year, 2024. With that said, my name is Kevin Attard. I'm advisory board member of PiLog, and I'm happy and honored, in fact, to be hosting this call today. With me, as you can see, I am privileged to be joined by the board member and CIO of PiLog Group, also CEO of MEA and APAC region, Dr. Imad Sayed. Imad, obviously welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kevin.
Absolutely. So colleagues, first of all, once again, thank you. Happy New Year. I know that we've already forgot about the beginning of the year. Time doesn't wait for anyone. And with that said, obviously, I think it's more than appropriate that as a start of the year, the hot topic on everyone's agenda is artificial intelligence. Now, I think it will be correct to state that 2023, we can coin it as the year of AI. It doesn't mean that AI was invented in 2023, but it really took off at the speed of light. Businesses are starting to embrace it. And once business embrace it, once software vendors, the typical SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, the big players out there, make it part of their solutions, then it's there to stay and it's there only to go on an upward trajectory. Now, PiLog has been in business for 27 years. PiLog are the leaders where it comes to data management. Needless to say, artificial intelligence is not a magic. It's based on something. It's based on learning. It's based on basically models. It's based on big data. So I would say that PiLog are at an exciting moment in their career, coming close to 30 now, because whilst a number of initiatives in IT are trendy, they go, they come, they are fashionable, if I may call it like that. If there is one item in IT which is not fashionable, it is data. Data is there to stay, and everyone needs to rely on data. Now, with that said, Imad, let's kick this off. Let's break the ice. You've been in the business for several years. You're a global guy. You've led PiLog. You meet several customers every day, every week. And you speak data, data, data. What's your perspective on this topic? Where is PiLog going? What's your point of view from an AI perspective, and how does it correlate basically in what PiLog's mission are doing out there?
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for the intro and thanks for setting the context here. I wish everybody, all the businesses, going forward, the best wishes, and may all the businesses flourish. May everybody who is joining this call also learn something from it. We are here to share our experiences and whatever the expertise that we have, so that we can collaborate our thoughts with the industry players. So that's the whole objective of it. And thank you very much for joining this, because time is the essence and time is the most valuable thing. And that's why, we are seeing AI, we are seeing a lot of things, that are coming as innovations. But Kevin, it's a very, very interesting, question that you have asked. Now, if you look at, I would like to just go back maybe 10 years back. Everybody was talking about big data, machine learning, and a lot of other stuff. At that point in time, though artificial intelligence was in the market, though somebody was working on it, though some of the use cases were available, but the focus was on big data. Why I'm giving this entire story is that to bring in a perspective to it. And a lot of initiatives that have taken at that point in time from the big data perspective have not matured enough. Or if you really look at in production, how many use cases are there? Seldom you will find the big data use cases. Then came in different artificial intelligence methodologies, technologies, And what we have witnessed last year was actually the revolution, which was a Gen AI, generative AI. And it's absolutely there to stay. And if you look at Gartner hype cycle, if you look at all the other research that is coming out, it is there to stay. But has it been adapted well? I think it is in the process of it. Why we are unable to adapt, even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, big data, why we could not adapt it into our production use cases, and today why are we facing challenges in adapting the Gen AI into our organizations and into the use cases. The basic fundamental question is that we do not have enough data. We do not have enough data, though the machines are generating you know petabytes of data every day. It's immense data that is being generated. And I mean, the stats yourself. About 20% plus data is getting generated every day or every year, compared to the previous one. I'm talking about all the data. So the adaptability of the AI is purely dependent on data quality and underlying data. Today, we do not have enough data. That's why we also bring in synthetic data to train our models. But what we have seen, last year, the use of LLMs, large language models, wherein the big data is being used as a training set to generate, whatever the chat GPT uh, queries or whatever, the conversation that we are having these days with the chat GPTs. So data is the fundamental. And if we do not have the data, we cannot run our businesses going forward. And be it AI, be it big data, be it any business case, data is fundamental. And not just having data, which is a raw data, but having a properly structured data that can be enabled for the conversation is vital. Because whatever the Gen AI, generative AI that is giving us is actually learning through the big data sets and then bringing it. Now the organizations, I'm taking a little bit of time here, Kevin, to set the context and also to the audience is that, can we directly use the chat GPT? Absolutely, you can use it, but how are we going to add the productivity from that? That's the important. Google, yes, you have search engines, Google, Bing, other search engines. If anything that you are not adding it to your productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness, it's of no use. So the organizations need to look around the use cases wherein they can bring in the productivity into their day-to-day life. And that's where, a term that is going to get popular is that human-centered AI. Because in any organization, if the AI is not helping, not augmenting the productivity, the efficiency, the effectiveness of a human being, then it is of no use. We can be amazed with all these technologies, but Kevin, I think the industry will have to quickly adapt to it. Now we see a lot of chatbots. Now we see a lot of virtual assistants that are being implemented. But fundamentally, all of them are built on the data and the quality of the data. And I'm not talking about a specific domain data or a specific segmented data or specific category of the data, but I'm talking about just the generic data. And we are surrounded by structured data, unstructured data, free text data, a lot of different data sets. And all of them need to be consumed by these models so that they can give you that accurate results. And that's what ChatGPT has done. And it has trained, I must say, billions of words, billions of phrases, so that you can actually initiate a conversation with the systems. And future is going to be the conversational AI, because you can ask the systems in a natural way, and they will answer you in that natural way. That's where we are going. I don't think that we need technical skills to operate the systems or the user interface also need to be more conversational going forward. So AI is here to stay. And I would like to just add something that many are little bit afraid of AI. We don't have to, because I always use a phrase that artificial intelligence is the excellence in extension of human intelligence. It's nothing but the human intelligence, but it's for the consistency, it's for the concurrency, it is for the accuracy of it, and all of this. So AI is here to stay. We'll have to adapt it, but each organization would have different use cases. And I'm just adding one more point to this. AI need a lot of regulatory things, because it can be used in your favor, it can be used against, because the sensitivity of the data. And some of the organizations that we have heard and also learned from the research that they fed the financial data to it, and that data was available publicly. So you need to be very clever to identify what kind of data need to be fed to the model. So AI is absolutely here to stay, but without the data, AI cannot work. Now, Kevin, you have nearly 30 years of experience in the market. Okay. You have been a global leader. You worked with Oracle as well as SAP, and you have seen that, a metaphor that was used about a century ago, when the data was still, trying to make its impact in the market, that garbage in and garbage out. That was the metaphor, or that was the phrase that was used. And now you see the same thing, but lift and shift is also another term, that you see, or another phrase that you see. So, I mean, do you still see this garbage in and garbage out, as well as lift and shift, applicable in current practices? Because, there is a, what do I say, urgency that is shown by various organizations, either in upgrading their ERP systems or CRM systems, or moving to the cloud, that urgency is being seen. So how do you see the organizations are actually not ignoring the data and its foundational rules when they are moving to cloud, or when they are lifting and shifting? Can you please throw some light on this?
Absolutely, and thank you for asking the question, Ahmad. So you're asking me whether I still see garbage in, garbage out. I will tell you that I see even more garbage in and more garbage out. So, so, so the gentleman who had invented the garbage in, garbage out, that is the GIGO metaphor. If there is a timing where it's mostly applicable, it's today, because we are in a crossroads. We are basically reaching the line where it's a reality check. Let me give an example. Both of us lived in Dubai, and up to today, at least today, because from what I'm hearing, Saudi Arabia is going to build a higher tower than Burj Khalifa. I believe you yourself and a number of colleagues on the line who have visited Dubai were interested in going up to the 150th floor, even higher, some of them. Why did you go up there? Why did you risk? Because you trusted that building. I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you do blind stuff. You trusted. And in what did you trust mostly? You trusted because it's built on sand.
Yeah.
It's built in the middle of the desert. Think about it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you went up to the 150th floor on the tallest building in the world, even if you are afraid of heights, because you trusted that there's a bedrock, there's a foundation that is solid enough that it gives you the peace of mind that you can climb up. And this is what we are talking about nowadays where it comes to artificial intelligence. Let's make no mistake. Artificial intelligence is not a magic. Artificial intelligence is exactly as you are saying, Imad, is possible today, and it will be even more possible because there's an accumulation of data. So artificially, artificially, through robotics, through machine learning, through algorithms, through models.
Right.
There can be learning through data. Now, why is garbage in, garbage out still very applicable? Because if the artificial intelligence is going to learn on misleading data, on
Right.
corrupted data, on non-accurate data, basically the output that it's going to produce is going to be catastrophic. Now,
Right.
I recall my ex-CEO, which I've learned a lot from him, Bill McDermott. He used to have one saying, which he is quite renowned for. Trust is the ultimate human currency. Trust is the ultimate human currency. In business,
Yeah.
especially when you are automating, especially when you are moving very, very fast. If you want to remain a disruptor,
Right.
if you want to be the leader in your field, you cannot be in the passenger seat or in the luggage booth. You need to be in the driving seat. So
Right.
you have no other option but to run fast, disrupt,
Yeah.
basically, be the leader.
Right. Right.
Now, systems will enable you. ERP systems will enable you. Now, that's why I said we are at a crossroads now. Because now it's a reality check. Potentially, some organizations, allow me to use this word, could escape with murder in the past by having non-proper data, because they had systems in place, manual systems in place to potentially make up for it. The more you're going to automate, the more you're going to end up in efficiency, okay, from a productivity level and all of this stuff, the more you're going to have human intervention to correct that data. So what is important is that from the point of inception, from the source, data is captured, complete, and correct. Because then that foundation, that bedrock, is going to serve for anything else. Remember the Burj Khalifa that is going to build up on top of it. Okay. So artificial intelligence, at the end of the day, is the result, yes, of based on quantity of data, but let's not forget the quality of data, because else we're going to end up in the garbage in, garbage out metaphor. And that's a big risk on the business. So I think, Emad, this is what CXOs today, I wouldn't say they're remaining awake at night because of this topic. They have a number of agenda items to think of. But on the other side, there's, as we said, 2023 was the actual explosion of AI. 2024 is going to be the business test of AI. Because at the end of the day, businesses will measure the results from an ROI perspective, traditional way, how AI is going to improve their efficiency. Okay. Now, can they opt out of AI? In my opinion, they cannot.
They cannot,
like the car revolution, okay, like the internet revolution. You can't resist it, exactly as you've said. You need to embrace it. In fact, I would call it, there is what we call now the human AI collaboration. Okay. So everything is going to work together. Everything is going to complement each other. Our brains, our human brains, and the AI brains, if I may put it like that, are going to become one. There's going to be basically a symphony between us. But if you want a symphony out of an orchestra, you need to ensure that all the instruments are playing correctly. Else it will be like me playing the guitar, and it will be a stress. So you need to have the right instruments in place. So with that said, with the lift and shift and all of this stuff, we'll discuss it a little bit later, time permitting, but that's a very important topic, especially, as you said, Emad, where it comes to the push from the vendors, from the ERP vendors for the customers. And we are blessed today of having numerous customers joining us on this call, which I thank them once again for their interest. They are being pushed with deadlines to move to the cloud. Now, their mission, and you and I and our colleagues on the line encounter it every day, is not that they will end up doing a pure, mere technology project. technology upgrade. But
Right.
at the end of the day, they need to embody, they need to endorse, they need to implement what we call a digital transformation.
Hmm.
Now, digital transformation is very simple said, but it's transformative.
Right.
If data is not going to be transformed in a proper way to embrace the needs of today's realities,
Right.
remain relevant for today and tomorrow, because the data that we need in the past, we just needed to produce an invoice, or we just needed to produce a receipt, or we just needed to publish the accounts.
Right.
Not talking about that anymore. Data is gaining more and more importance. Data is becoming the fundamentals of the
Right.
business. Okay, the more
Right.
that you rely on
Right.
it. So we need to be transformative from that perspective. So having said that, let me bounce it back to you, Emad. As we said, PiLog are renowned. That's what you do for a living every day, with all of your experts and talent pool that you have globally, basically, as PiLog in best accounts and customers out there. You for sure are also in a timeline where you are seeing more and more attention to detail and strategic conversations, okay,
Hmm.
rather than a mere, I would say, migration of data,
Right.
okay, and lift and shift of data. The data topic is becoming more and more strategic.
Yeah.
So how are you basically embodying all this? What is the level of conversations you're having and receiving from customers where
Right.
it comes to AI? Because for sure they're coming to you and they're telling you, Emad, you've been telling us for long, but now you're potentially right. Um, we need to take a stock take, and we need to understand where we are with our data, and we need to have the caliber of our data up here to reflect the caliber of our operational excellence that we want to achieve, also thanks to AI. So what are
Right.
you experiencing out there, and how is PiLog prepared to face
Sure.
and basically support such situation?
See, Kevin, there are a number of instances that I can share, but I would like to share with you and also the audience couple of instances that has either shocked me or that has actually, prompted me that there needs to be a lot more awareness on this subject of the data and data quality. Such as, I will give you one instance, no names here, but one instance wherein we were having a C-level meeting, we were given a hard drive, of 1 TB. They were in a process of migrating to, the latest and greatest of the ERPs. They said that here is the hard drive, here is the data. And this after a couple of workshops where we said that you need to actually lift and shift cannot work. You need transformation, you need data quality. Here is the hard drive. We have got 3 months. Can you just, transform the data and give us the best data quality? See, Kevin, that shook me really apart. How can somebody just throw you a storage where the data is stored and is expecting in 3 months? That really prompted me to think that still the literacy of the data wasn't there. And this has happened just few years back. It's not more, 10 years ago. And that's one instance. And then the other instances, I think 9 out of 10 instances where we have been called or where we have been, asked our advice uh, as part of their digital transformation project that, okay, we have literally 3 months or 2 months. Can you just cleanse this data? Can you just, complete this data because this data is incomplete? Can you just ensure that the data quality is enabled in that? Can you just, improve this data? And we have got 2 months. And that's where really I feel that we need a lot more time to understand the subject of the data because everybody wants the golden record, whether I don't know whether they understand that it's a gold coated record, or they understand the principle of single version of truth, and establishing one record across the organization. They understand it, but everybody is in a hurry, in an urgency of moving the data from on-prem to the cloud. And I would like to throw some stats here. If all the organizations who are using the ERPs, popular ERPs today, if they want to go to the next version, because they will have to, because the next versions are enabled and embedded with the AI and the latest technology and process orchestration, process improvement, robotic process automation, a lot of things in that. They have to do it in the next 3 years. Every day, there should be 200 plus data migrations that must be completing, not starting, completing, if you want to achieve that in 3 years. And that's a impossible task. Yeah. So which means even if we bring in all the SIs, all the data players, even if we bring in everybody, that mammoth task cannot be achieved. That's why we need now the tools that are AI enabled. It's 4 o'clock. Because it cannot be done by human being. It cannot be done by a workforce. So when it comes to the data migrations, we were, seeing this coming from the last couple of years. What we did is we brought in a lot of AI powered by the data science. In fact, data science is ocean and AI is one part of that. So we built the automated data transformations. If I tell you that if we have to move from ECC to S4, there are already the data transformations that are built in for a vanilla, non-customized stuff. You can move that. But to get to a golden record, whatever the steps that it takes, it's really a science on its own. You cannot just lift and shift. You cannot just move from one place to other place and then drop off inactive records. That's definitely not going to help. You need time. You need maturity of the data maturity assessment need to be done, a lot of other things. And then I would like to also add one thing, that many a times the C level say that our objective is to become digital. We would like to have you know predictive analytics. It's a very nice term, predictive analytics. But a lot goes in there before you can predict something. If you now ask me from the research that we have, that I'm reading it and I'm becoming part of that research, 9 out of 10 organizations are at a descriptive analytics level only. And there is, after descriptive, you have diagnostic, then you have predictive, then you have prescriptive analytics. But everybody would like to jump from, A to Z. They want to cut down these steps. It's not possible unless you deploy some of the AI models to do that. So they want to have digital dashboards, actionable analytics, nice words, nice terminology. But if they do not go through this process, they will not be able to achieve their digital transformation. Because digital transformation, Kevin, is not having nice mobile apps, mobility, having nice user interface. It's not digital transformation. It's part of it, but it is not digital transformation. Digital transformation is a journey that you evolve day by day, by improving the processes, improving the data quality, because data as well as processes both go hand in hand. You cannot just cure the data problems and not look at the processes. Process optimization is something that need to be also looked into, because how the data is ingested, is it being orchestrated? The processes are orchestrated or not? And you have spoken about orchestration yourself. It's not somebody that is driving it, it is actually driving itself. And to get to data driven enterprises, data driven analytics, it's a journey. And you need to start sooner than later because already time has run out. I mean, we have seen during the COVID times, how hard we were hit. Those enterprises who claimed that they were digitally fully ready, they could not offer more than 100 remote connections to work on their premises. So it's infrastructure, it's the systems, it's the agility of it, it's the data, it's the processes. So it's a lengthy thing. However, we can cut it down by introducing AI as part of the data transformation process. I would like to, you know, leave on this note that until and unless you are bringing artificial intelligence or process orchestration as part of the data migration processes, we are not going to achieve, you know, the bigger goals that we have because it's a mammoth data. And by the way, lift and shift does not mean that you take everything like, garbage in and garbage out. You trim it down. And I would like to also throw another statement here that we would like to look healthier. We would like to look lean. Why can't we, as enterprises, as C-level, as board members, also think that our data should also be lean and healthy? Because there's no point in taking everything to the cloud because it is going to cost you. And in fact, what we are doing is that we are duplicating that. Sometimes we are keeping the same redundant data also for ages. So we are increasing the carbon footprint. We are not contributing to the environment in any way. So I have answered that in a very lengthy way, Kevin, because I thought probably I must elaborate more on that. But however, from the, since we are on the digital transformation perspective, I mean, how do you see that, you know, digital transformations can be accelerated, digital transformations can be empowered, by looking at all what is available in the market now? That's one. And just to add to that, this urgency that is being shown by the organizations to move quickly, I mean, what is your view on that? I mean, they must just rush it, or they must follow the processes, or half of. What do you suggest?
Absolutely. So listen, Emad, so thank you for that elaborative answer. I think that's why we are here to share as much knowledge. But having said that, please, ladies and gentlemen on the line, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, anything you want to contribute, we have the Q&A session open. So please feel free to comment over there or ask any question which you like. I will be more than happy to bring you in basically through this forum. Now, coming back to the digital transformation, of course, speed is of the essence. Time is ticking. Pressures are coming with deadlines on moving to the newer cloud ERPs. As you know, if you want to remain competitive, allow me to say it, a blunt statement, with some exceptions, you need to be on the cloud. You cannot run your business in the traditional way on premise and expect that you're going to remain transformative, remain agile, remain fast by running your business in the traditional way. That is why the typical SAP and Oracle and other main ERP players are pushing everyone
Can I
to the.
just interject you here, Kevin? Is that applicable to everybody, or I mean, maybe the governments and so because I just want you, because we are working with governments, a couple of governments. So would you also include that exclusion criteria as well there?
That's a very, very good comment. That is why I'm saying with exceptions, because the
Okay.
cloud is not the answer for everyone. You've got institutions which have sensitive data, sensitive
Right.
situations, like ministries of defense, like healthcare, like public sector, like statutory requirements, like certain countries as well and regions which are not ready from an
Right.
infrastructure perspective to the cloud. That is why you have
Right.
three hybrid models. That is the typical within on-premise, if I may call it like that, in a private cloud environment, and then you have your hyperscalers, and then you have the public cloud. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but ultimately you need to transform in whichever business you are.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
ultimately you need to be agile. Now, Allow me to share with you a couple of stories from what I've seen, especially when I was at SAP running the strategic customer program. So I was privileged to have the honor, if I may call it like that, of being responsible for the marquee, the top customers of SAP. After, obviously, I came from Oracle. And I remember being in Italy, for argument's sake, to your question, Imad, and I was having a conversation with a CEO, with an Italian CEO, who his company, without mentioning the company's name, obviously is very competitive from a motorsport perspective. And you can say 1 week in, 1 week out, they are always on the podium. Okay. And we were discussing the digital transformation of the company, and we were discussing the move to S4 from ECC. And then I asked them in Italian, I love it, with that accent and with that passion, if I may call it like that, you know how passionate we Iranian Italians are. And I told this gentleman, I told him, you have a beautiful engine here. We were sitting next to the engine. Okay, very proud of the engine. And I asked the gentleman, I told him, listen, why do you think you win? Why do you think, what makes you a winner? Why do I see you week in, week out on the podium and celebrating? He said, Kevin, this is a beauty. This is an engine which has a lot of history, a lot of talent. We're number one in what we do. This engine is unbeatable. We innovate, we run. And then I looked at him, of course, and I asked him a follow-up question. And this is where it cracked it. I told him, listen, Dottore, do you think that you will remain a winner if in this engine you will pump corrupt fluids, fuel, oil? And he stared at me, literally stared at me. In the beginning, he thought that I'm joking. Then he got it. And he told me, of course not. It will ruin everything. Everything needs to be up here. Everything needs to be Premier League. Everything needs to be Serie A. Okay? Top level. Chemistry between them. Everything working as a symphony. And then I told him, okay, we're discussing your SAP S4 cloud journey, digital transformation. And at the very beginning, you told me, Kevin, I'm not going to be pressured. I have a business to run and I run my business, not the IT vendor. I want to ensure that the ERP system is enabling me, not me enabling it, not me at its mercy. It's a tool for me to remain the number one. So I need to remain in command. But a lot of pressure is coming on me to cut corners. A lot of pressures are telling me, take what you have, load it into the new system, you'll be in the cloud, you'll be agile, and then correct the situation afterwards. No, this is what I told him. I told him, whilst, yes, you need to move fast, whilst potentially you've left it a bit late, whilst potentially you gave other priorities, which were more important, given the macroeconomics as well, with COVID, with the political situation and all of this stuff, CEOs had other priorities. So let's admit all. On the other side, the lift and shift approach will be leading to a technology upgrade, which is good, but not great. So my advice to the gentleman was, listen, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, at least in the coming 10 years. Okay, take stock of your data. Let's run a health check on your data. Let's see in which status your data is. You've been accumulating data throughout the decades of existence. You've been moving data from one system to the next without spring cleaning, without removing the data which is not necessary, removing the duplicates, removing the obsolete data, rather than putting them into an archive mode, for argument's sake, so that you leave the efficient data running your system. This is the same thing with your fluids. Pump into your engine clean fluids, complete fluids, so that it pumps and it engineers the whole system in working as one. He got it, done it. Now, the whole point is exactly what you were saying, Imad. There's pressure, there's time, And one cannot take the conventional approach of an ETL process, for argument's sake, extract, transform, load. Those are all dated. Trying to do it manually is all dated and risky. So this is where companies, big companies and smaller companies, are coming to experts, data experts, not experts, jack of all trades that do everything. Sorry to say. So data needs to be given its right priority, exactly as you are saying. Its right attention. Be elevated up here, because the most abused word in business is strategic.
Yeah.
Crossing the road, we are crossing strategically.
Yeah.
Everyone uses the word strategic. Strategic means that you're really elevating the topic up here to the board level. Data needs to be given the same level. So the only way to do it in a digital transformation way and not compromise quality, but achieve results in lesser time is to go through automation and go through proven methodologies and proven basically data providers and processes that basically provide you all this proven. And this is what I believe PiLog can help in. And there's a lot out there. There's a lot of customers that still need to move to the cloud, move to S4, and all of stuff. And this is where customers are evolving to you, Emat, and coming to you and asking you, how can you help us? So to start rounding up, Emat, I'm sure you as leaders, PiLog as leaders, are taking the driving seat on this topic. You're not waiting. You're already ensuring that where it comes to your master data management, where it comes to your accelerator approaches and tools to move these customers to the cloud without compromising the quality of data, this is something that you are doing every day. So at what stage are you? Customers, we have over 70 colleagues on the line, and others will be seeing us through the recording of this show, if I may call it like that. So what's your advice? How can they achieve both speed and quality so that in 2024, AI will become a reality for them, but quality AI, meaningful AI, not just for the sake of saying we have AI within the system?
Yes. Thanks, Kevin. See, now I would like to put a couple of perspectives here. When we talk about data, there are different data types and the categories. Our approach, PiLog's approach, always has been, aligned with the ISO standards, be it 8000, be it 22745, 29002, because these are the standards that are actually putting the data into the right context so that in future that data can be exchanged without any human intervention. When we are building any of the AI models, we always have to consider that. So let me give you an example of it. What does that mean? So when we are now talking about bringing AI into our business, which is for the master data optimization, master data cleansing, we cannot just bring in only the master data. We need to also bring in the metadata. Metadata is important for us. The semantics of the data is important for us. The syntax of the data is important for us. The reason for that is, I'll give you an example. If, let us suppose, when we are looking at an employee register and it says, 52, what is it? Is it age or is it a weight? What is it? So if I do not have a metadata tag attached to it, saying that it is years as a UOM or a QOM, we will not be able to utilize the data into our master data cleansing process. So we always, PiLog always has been in the market advocating, propagating the best practices from the ISO standards of data quality or information quality for that matter. So metadata is the foundation, and that metadata, PiLog has, actually accumulated, collated a lot of metadata related to the products materials, assets. I'm specifically focusing now on the domains of it, business partners, vendors. We have the metadata repositories. Not only that, we have also built, master data repositories. Like I said in the beginning of this discussion, I said that you need massive data, big data to train your models. So we have accumulated millions of records that we have trained as part of our augmented practices of MDM, master data management. So I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited because there's a lot of innovation that is coming in, and especially the human-centered AI is what we are focusing. Let me just, repeat that. We are bringing in the process optimizations and orchestrations and data quality, improvements that are human-centered AI, which means to improve efficiency, to improve the effectiveness, to improve the productivity and quality of it. And what we are doing for the first time is that we're gonna now launch this as a SaaS model, software as a service, which means you do not need us because all our expertise is already embedded into these models that can, assign the class characteristics, the metadata tag, and also provide you the analytics and visualization of it. And that's what, we are excited about, because earlier it was dependent on people expertise. So what we have done is we built the entire knowledge base as part of our models that we will be offering, as a subscription model, which is available on cloud. If you would like to do the data health assessment, you can do it with a click. If you would like to see the data maturity assessment, you can do that with a click. So all the effort of, thousands or hundreds of thousands of hours that we have invested into the methodology of the ISO processes and ISO procedures, policies, everything is now embedded into this model. Is that the end of it? Absolutely not, because we have quite a lot of use cases. We have solved now more than 20 plus use cases that can be, augmented with AI, with the knowledge based AI, human centered AI. But there are many coming. But Kevin, what I'm happy about at this point in time is that data is taking center stage, and that I'm glad about it. And data is going to rule the world for the next at least 10 years. This is what I foresee. And again, on a closing note, we need to adapt. Organizations, I encourage organizations to adapt the new technologies, new processes, new way of doing business, because if you do not adapt them and utilize it, our competition or your competition is going to capitalize on that. And if you need any advisory on that, or we are the entrusted advisors when it comes to the data, because we are also part of contributing to ISO 8000 standard, ISO 22745 standard. We are contributing there, and we are the guys who are actually writing certain policies, procedures, regulatory, statutory. So they can always approach. I mean, whoever would like to have from the data, strategy perspective, enterprise data perspective, master data management perspective, they can always reach out to us, because PiLog has been in the market for nearly 3 decades, and which is absolutely a wonderful thing. Thank you, Kevin.
Absolutely, Madan. Thank you. Thank you for those remarks. So once again, if you have any questions, colleagues, just feel free to ask any question on the platform. So you're making me feel old, Imad, because you're continuously saying 3 decades. I'm approaching 5 decades. So we're still young. We're still young.
We are.
Okay, so listen, it's been a very interesting dialogue. Thank you for obviously sharing all the slides to us, but let's wrap this up. So what we are saying is AI, definitely, this is going to be the year of AI being embraced by the business.
Absolutely.
Businesses, that is the board level of any company, is going to be demanding business impact, business outcomes, hard numbers. out of these investments. It's no longer deep pockets. It's no longer,
Yeah.
just issue a paycheck just to have the latest technology. No, it's all correlated to business impact. If you want business impact, you need obviously to ensure that anything that you do is measurable,
Yeah.
data is measurable. We're in fact lately as a PiLog, we are studying a report by Gartner where it comes to master data management and issuing our provocative point of view,
Yeah.
which we can share with any company and CXO out there, how the findings from Gartner for a meaningful master data management can actually be achieved through proper systems in place. And I think it's exciting times. In IT,
Absolutely.
it's always exciting times. We every year say that this is exciting times. That is why we've chosen the right industry. Excitement is definitely not something that we are short of. But on the other side, we have a responsibility. You, EMAT, PiLog, you as the CEO, of course, PiLog in general has a responsibility now to ensure that we continue advocating and educating the market, ensuring that we
Absolutely.
keep preaching and showing what
Yeah.
is the best practice out there so that shortcuts, unfortunately, are not taken. I
Yeah.
recall, I always try to give examples. I was in South Africa, in Johannesburg. No, sorry, I was actually in Cape Town in an oil and gas company, natural resources company out there. I was
Mm-hmm.
meeting the CIO of the company, and he told me, Kevin, we moved to the latest ERP system. But it was embarrassing for me to go and face the
Mm-hmm.
board, and the board asked me, what was the business improvement
Mm-hmm.
of spending these millions of dollars? And I
Yeah.
chose. I struggled because we were pressured so much to do a lift and shift approach. We were pressured so much to take what we had as long as we move and cut the line and have the new system up and running, that we
Yeah.
did not look at our business processes. We did not
Right.
look at our quality of data. So basically, we are running a new system but adopting the old methods. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have unfortunately inherited all the bad stuff that we had in the bad system, but we
Yeah.
have a nice cover. And that is
Absolutely.
not what
Absolutely.
businesses are looking for. Now with
Yeah.
AI, it's going to become even, I would say, more critically important because all the boards, all the CXOs are hearing about AI. They will be
Right.
demanding how AI fits within the organization. And IT managers, business executives, stakeholders
Mm.
need to ensure at a fast pace to get the house in order so that there's
Mm-hmm.
no garbage in, garbage out. Do a sanity check, engage people like PiLog to run a health test, if I may call it like that,
Yeah.
assessment or their data. With that said, I'll try again to close the call. Let's see if that happens. But thank you once again and see you next
Thank
time,
you.
guys.